Finding the perfect place to call home can be difficult, stressful, and intimidating. Finding the right buyer can be just as hard, unless you have the right real estate agent. Jessica Bragg is a Keller Williams top 20% linear partner and can make your home buying or selling experience easier. Buy and sell with confidence. Call Jessica Bragg at 706-716-9687 or send her an email at jbragg@kw.com. That's jbragg@kw.com.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Diamond Studios podcast. This is where three friends and the occasional guest get together and talk about music, business, and the balance of both with life. I'm your host, Nathan Collins. As always, we're joined with Kevin Beggs, Jonathan Boucher. Today, we're talking about 3 ways you can efficiently balance your music career with life. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Holy crap, I did that by memory because I couldn't get the prompter to work.
Wow.
So that was pretty,
It's amazing.
that was good. Hey,
This is the
Good job.
last. This is the last podcast episode.
of what?
this is.
The last?
We just did this episode.
What?
What?
Am I crazy?
No.
Wait.
No, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
3 tips.
Oh.
No. The last one was more of a personal approach.
Oh. Okay.
Dude,
I was really confused. I didn't want us to accidentally do the same episode twice.
I was tripping out because I was like, I thought we were saying word for word what we said previously, and it made me feel like I was like in a dream. And it was weird. After the week I've had, it's been wild. So yeah, how do you balance music career and life? Well, last episode we kind of got a little bit more personal on this topic. So on this one, we're gonna give you some tips.
Whoa.
Tips that hopefully I can make it through this episode while I'm like talking correctly. Hopefully you can take these tips, apply them, and see some growth. That'd be the ideal thing. But
Yes.
first we need some deliciousness. Living room coffee roasters.
So good.
Keeps us going. I don't know, but it's provocative.
Did you just drink living room
Gets
coffee
the
roasters
people
from your
going.
guitar? That's crazy,
Yes,
dude.
did.
That's a new it's a new level. It's dedication.
Skills.
So yeah, how do you balance music career? Well, the topics we're going to hit on: establish boundaries with your friends, family, and with your work and your coworkers and your boss. Establish expectations with friends, family, and work. Boundaries and expectations are 2 different things. And then finally, set focused schedule goals and timeline. This is for the other 2 things are mainly for the other people, but this last thing is for you as an artist or an entrepreneur, whatever you are. I don't know. This works all the way around, not necessarily just music. It's definitely
Super
works.
practical.
It is, yeah. And the less you hide, the better off you are.
Yeah.
As far as like what you want to do. So therefore, establish boundaries with friends, family, and work. Well, most artists that I know have legit jobs and are productive members of society elsewhere outside of their passion. So, you need to establish a boundary with your boss. You need to pick a day. Be like, hey, this is my day off. I'm requesting this for eternity until I make enough money off of my music to quit this job. This works. It does. It works. I did it when I worked at PetSmart. I wanted all the extra money I could get, so I didn't request a full day off. But I told them on Fridays and Saturdays, I will work morning shifts until 1 p.m. After 1 p.m., I need to be available for practices and live gigs. Just setting that boundary, because they're going to work with you. And if you have a boss that won't work with you, you're at the wrong place. You need to quit.
Yeah, you need to go somewhere else.
There's
Plenty of places to work.
Yes, there's plenty of places to work. So establish that boundary with your boss. Be like, look, my career is not here at this job. My career is where my passion is, which is for my music. And, if you have like a cool boss, maybe they'll show interest and maybe they'll support your music. whenever we were in the beginning stages of the studio, I was working 3 different jobs, and on top of the studio, and every single one of them, I sat down and I told them, like, this is not where my heart is, but my heart is in this thing that we're starting up, and I need you guys to work with my schedule.
Right.
Whenever it comes down to that, and they all three worked with me, and they allowed me to be off at the times that I needed to be off. And Kevin, you did that with Home Depot.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Right.
That was I think when we first opened, I was still working normal shifts. So that first week, almost like a month, I think that first month I worked normal shifts. This is a weird way to say it. Thankfully, COVID happened. At least for our hours. I only had to work till 6 instead of 9, and so I was off by 6 every day. And then it came to a point where I was like, all right, we're growing. I need to invest more time. And so I told them, like, listen, I don't plan on being here. I don't want to move up. I just want to do what I'm passionate about, which is music in the studio. And so I need to be off by 12, like, every day. And I need to have these days off. And it just slowly progressed until one day I finally was just like, all right, it's time for me to go, guys. So that's how that happened.
Yeah. And, I mean, they listen to you.
Yeah.
You establish a boundary, and, like, it allows you to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's the same with friends and family. This was more difficult than the workplace.
Yeah.
Because if you lose your job over something stupid like that, you can just go get another job. But if you lose your family over something like this, you can't just go get a different, blood-related family.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
So, I've done this with my parents, and friends. I give them days that I'm completely off limits. And for me, most of the time, that's weekends. Friday, Saturday, and then most Mondays. I'm just completely off limits.
Yeah.
And they know that. So, like, whenever they plan something, it kind of sucks because they don't even take me into consideration.
Yeah.
But that's a sacrifice you make. But setting those boundaries, today, the day that we're recording this podcast, my parents went to a trampoline park.
Yeah.
And, there's things you're going to miss out on. But establishing those boundaries, and so that you can focus on what you really want to do, is paramount. Yeah.
Good word.
Yeah, it's Paramount Plus.
Not a sponsor. If you want to be, though.
Hey, if you want to air our podcast, our video,
Yes.
we'll do live. Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
I'm not touching this again. Yeah, so those boundaries are very important. It's difficult to do. It is difficult to do. You may rub people the wrong way doing this. Depends on how you do it. Just don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
Just make sure they know that you're doing it for your future, It's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah, go for it.
I know setting boundaries with family for me, I wouldn't say it was too difficult. Of course, I think the only person in my family I was closely connected with was just my mom at that point. But I was also, like, you're really connected to your family, but my family is very sparse and in between. So in that situation, for me, it wasn't very, I guess, difficult to do.
Yeah.
It was kind of already there.
Yours are more in the friends area.
Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah.
I'm still setting boundaries to this day.
Yeah.
Where, like, I have old friends that will text me. I was like, dude, I'd love to hang out, but I can only really do a few days out of the week.
And those days are dedicated to me.
Yeah.
Like,
So it's difficult.
It is very difficult. And it gets even harder because, like, once you set those boundaries, you have an inner circle.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, we talked about last episode, we are in each other's inner circle.
Yeah.
But you still have to set boundaries within those inner circles.
Yeah.
Which is weird sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, it can be weird.
Weird.
I don't know what's going on. No idea. Next, we've got establish expectations with friends, family, and work. Big one.
So, what would you say the difference between a boundary and expectation is?
So a boundary is like, hey, this is what I can do, this is what I can't do, and then an expectation is like,
This is what I will do.
this is what I am doing, and I need you to like respect that, please.
Yeah.
You know, what does people say? What do they say? It's like, kindly, is that, or is it politely? What do they say? Kindly, no.
Oh,
Is that what they say? I don't know.
I don't know.
it
It's
doesn't matter.
Some
It's-
cool kid thing.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, establishing frankly, no, that's
No.
not it.
Frankly, has a bit of a mean air to it.
Yeah,
It
reminds
does.
me of Frankenstein.
I always think of, frankly, I don't give a darn from Gone with the Wind.
Oh,
Clean, darn.
yeah, clean edition. So expectations are one of those things where, like, you know, lay it out to your friends, family, and your work, right? So, like, whenever I was asking my jobs, like, for expectations, I was like, the only time that, and I was decently lenient with, more so the Boys and Girls Club than a retail store,
Yeah.
PetSmart, and Food Lion as well. I was very lenient with like the Boys and Girls Club because, you know, there's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Not a lot of staff. So like I would tell them like, okay, on these days I'll only stay over if you absolutely need me to.
Yeah.
Like if it's like a legal situation where like we have more kids than we have legal staff, like that ratio
Yeah.
has a legal limit. Sure. But on most days, like if I respect that expectation of the business, I expect you to respect my expectation of I need to leave so that I can accomplish what I need to accomplish.
Right.
And the same with like, so my family, I set boundaries and I laid out the expectations of like, I don't expect them to ask me questions about my career anymore because I told them a boundary of mine is I'm not going to overshare with them anymore. That's a heavy one.
Yeah.
So like there was a boundary put up there, and the expectation in response to that boundary was I expect you not to ask me or push
Yeah.
that boundary. Just respect it because there's a reason why I'm keeping this from this side of the family.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
The same with friends, you know, like these are my days. If you're free on these days and our schedules line up, let's do something. But other than that, don't expect like me to move like an entire business schedule,
Yeah.
you know, for a birthday party.
It goes back to the whole thing of
Gosh,
like,
that's so heartless.
well, I don't think
Sounds
so.
heartless.
It sounds heartless, but like I just messed up a word. Whatever. Heartless. But I mean, it goes back to our like conversation about like the double standard of like school and business. Like if you
Yeah.
say, "Sorry, I can't make it. I have a class at like 6 p.m. that day." Nobody's gonna bat an eye.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, that sucks.
Yeah.
If they're really a terrible friend, they'll tell you to skip the class.
I tell everyone to drop
I know
out.
you don't.
Drop out.
But it'd be
And
the
just-
same thing of like
just move
someone was
away.
like, that's another double standard. Someone would be like, hey, just skip the meeting, just come to the birthday party.
Yeah.
So like, double standards, they suck.
Hey, no, fam.
So
Can't do that.
it's really interesting.
Yeah. So, you know, establish the boundaries, but communicate those expectations very clearly.
Yeah.
You'll have to remind them about the expectations because it's not in their natural human nature. Like, my parents are naturally curious about what I'm doing. So, of course, there's going to be moments where they're like, hey, so what are you up to with, like, this, and this? I saw you post this on Facebook. And I was like, it's all I can share with you. And then they're like, oh, yeah, sorry. You know,
Yeah.
like, there's that boundary and then that expectation reminder. These are all important things. Like those two things right there, it's going to kick in, and the balance of your music career in your life is going to become a heck of a lot more efficient. Because there's also this weird side of it where if you don't set boundaries, they'll bleed together
Yeah.
quickly, and it doesn't make like a beautiful painting.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like that. It makes like a sludgy mix of gross colors of emotions,
Yeah.
because then eventually what's going to happen is all of these colors are going to come in, they're going to collide, and then everyone, including your career, even though it can't like physically talk to you, everyone's going to be like, well, you're choosing this over me. Well, you're choosing that person over me, and then you've got to sort all that out.
Yeah.
Go ahead and nip it in the bud right here, right now.
Yeah.
It's the best thing you can do. It's the best thing you can do. Do it right now. Go call your mom and tell her you don't want to talk to her. I'm just kidding.
Oh gosh.
Talk to her about your career. I'm kidding. No, love your parents. Always.
Always.
Forever and always. All right, finally. That's more so for the other people. You set those boundaries and expectations so that you can do the following list here.
Yeah.
Set a focused schedule. Set goals and set a freaking timeline. At the end of every year, some of these things are going to change. There's some things that you can't help. Some things happen. But at the end of every year, I've done it for my personal music since I've started music. I write down the dates that I want singles to come out.
Yeah.
And I stick to those, and I have to finish the singles by that date unless some freak accident happens. The last time I didn't make the date, I lost like some of the original files or something and had to something stupid. And then my album was taken down.
Yeah.
And I missed a February release.
Yeah.
But now we're on March 3rd, so I'm only 2 weeks behind.
Yeah.
But you set that timeline, and then your mind automatically, it's in your mind, so therefore it's on a time limit because it's in a calendar.
Yeah.
There's only so many days, there's only so many hours and months in a year. So it automatically puts the urgency in your mind to get it done.
Yeah.
And then set goals. Kind of dissect it down. So create your timeline and then go through each thing. Create goals. And this is not just for, like, yes, we're talking mainly about music, but this is for if you want to buy a new car, this is how you do it. If you want to buy a new house, this is how you do it. If you want to pay off something, this is how you do it. Set a timeline, set the goals, and then set a focused schedule. So all of these things trickle into one another to give you one giant accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snowball effect.
Snowball effect. Dave Ramsey. Thanks, pal. So a focused schedule. So what that means is you've got the things that you want to do. If you're like me and your brain moves 1 trillion miles an hour, if you don't write down, so every night before I go to bed, I write out a list of things that I need to do the next day. I have to do that. If I don't do that, then I'm going to walk around aimlessly and do things like I didn't do it last night and I got my hair cut like on a 5-minute decision. Like I do things like that.
Yeah.
So, oh wow.
I also think a thing to go with schedule and your keeping a list of everything. I think perseverance through making your list is so like you didn't write your list down yesterday. Like even if you miss something, schedule it again. Make sure to keep it on a schedule. Keep yourself accountable to that.
I add an exclamation point to it.
Yeah.
Not just any exclamation, the red emoji exclamation point. It's real.
It is real.
So you set that focus schedule, and then as you God, I'm about to get like psychology marketing in on you guys. Set a focus schedule. I do the list in the notes where you can check it off. Okay, so there is a dopamine effect. So you start your day before you go to sleep. Most people know that. So when you go to sleep and you create the goals for the next day, you've already started the next day. So like when you wake up in the morning, that's what's on your mind. So you wake up, you do your morning routine, you look at that schedule, and then you get to work on that focused like daily schedule, like those goals right there. And then every time you complete something, you hit that little bubble and it checks it off. Releases dopamine. It's not much, but it's enough.
It feels good.
Yeah, it does. It does. It feels great. And so that's how dopamine is triggered. You know, that's why you scroll. Like any social media you get on, you scroll, and the reason why you scroll is because your brain is wired and wired to look for the dopamine effect. And so your brain is on a mission to find the dopamine within that app. That's literally why we scroll.
That's so scary.
Yeah. Yeah. So like that's why.
Yeah.
So if you take that energy and you put it towards your own list, and you get the same benefit.
Yeah.
You know? And then like it's literally the same benefit. Like if you take your entire schedule and it's an impressive schedule and you send it to a bunch of friends like you do like a TikTok or something, it's the same effect. Cuz it's like, "Dang, look at what I did." You know? Instead of like, "Dang, look at what I found."
Yeah.
It's the same exact effect. So, setting those focus schedules, those goals and timelines are important. So there's a reason why I plan my year out for the big things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We plan all promotions for the business out the year before, and then we schedule them. We create the graphics. We schedule them in our social media planner.
Yeah.
So like you create those timelines and then the goals to make them happen.
Wow.
So we do it here at the studio. I do it in my personal life. It's important to do.
Yeah.
That organization, especially if you have a brain like mine.
I think also with the type of business that we're running with, I think the amount of like, I'm going to use a little bit of a metaphor, but the amount of air that we move, especially the amount of air that Nathan moves, you almost have to keep
He
a list.
moves a lot of air.
What?
I'm sorry, it was a fart joke.
Oh.
It was supposed to be a fart joke, but it was so like out there, it was hard to connect.
I was thinking about we just sucked a bunch of helium out of a balloon.
We
Oh,
did.
yeah, that.
That was really fun. That was just for us too.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
But no, I think even, like, I know you and Kayla both have to do a list to
Yeah.
keep track of every single thing that you're
Yeah.
doing. Or else, like, you guys will be scatterbrained and, like, clueless
Leads to
throughout the whole
stress.
day.
Yeah. It will get you stressed out.
Yeah.
I wasn't always like that though.
Yeah.
I was not like that until I moved out on my own. That's when that kicked in. But when I moved out, I learned real quick. Like, oh, I suck at this. So here's what I do. Here's laundry day. And then here's the time to do dishes. And then here's the time to cook and time to prep and all that stuff. It's important. So if you don't already do that, you should do that.
Try it, yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely try it. The amount of things that you're going to be able to get done, or like, especially based around your music career, and if you do this with your personal life, the amount of things that you're going to be able to get done, accomplish, and you're going to be able to move some mountains.
Yeah.
Like if you're able to see those mountains and like, okay, so I got to do this, this, and this to accomplish this. Boom. Cool. You know, it allows your brain to stress a little bit less.
Yeah.
Because you're not thinking so hard. I got a vision board, and that's all it is. It's a timeline set with goals on a focus schedule. and then I pray over it. Sheesh. Wild times. Wild times. So, yeah, those are 3 great tips that you can officially balance your music career with life.
Just rewind and write all those down.
Yeah, proven methods. Do them every day.
Please rewind. It'll treat you kind.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
That's the end of a VHS, isn't
It
it?
is. It is.
Jeez.
No, it's a be kind. Please rewind.
Be kind, please rewind.
Mm.
That's right.
But if you rewind this and write it all down, it will treat you kind.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Well, if you rewind it and write it down and don't do anything, it won't do anything
Yeah, it
for
won't
you.
do anything.
Yeah.
If you rewind it, write it down, and do it,
Then it'll be kind.
Yeah. then it'll be kind. Well, I'll kick off the music segment. I've been listening to... I'm revisiting Laugh's previous albums.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. His production style and writing style was a heavy influence of mine for a while. So, I've been revisiting that. And also, my single Breathe. You should go listen to it.
It's out.
It's out. Go listen to it.
Good vibe to it.
It's getting rave reviews too.
It's great.
Taking over the world.
Thousands of streams. Wow. We have a lot of faith right
Well,
now.
We do. No, we're speaking it into existence.
We are.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you got?
Inside by Steve Lacy.
Oh yeah.
You've been vibing to that everywhere.
All over the place.
It's a good one. Oh, you too?
Oh, no, I just heard it. You just magically learned the song, and now we're going to get copy strike from chords.
Nah.
No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't. I actually was vibing a little bit to Paramore's album earlier
the new
today.
one?
Yeah. I like it a lot. There's a lot of good songs on it. I'm still going through it. But so far, I like everything. I like where they're going with their music.
I'll second that too for mine as well.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
good.
like Paramore.
I know you don't. You're just missing out. It's fine.
I mean, I think their music is good.
Yeah.
I just think they conform too much.
That's
That's literally the only. I think their music is
Interesting.
fantastic.
okay.
But every time they release an album,
Yeah.
some critic or the fan base says how much they either hate it or says how much they either love it, and depending on how that goes, is their next album.
Interesting.
It's never consistent with what, like, if you watch interviews,
Yeah.
it's never consistent with like what they want to do. And I can't, even if it is great music,
Yeah.
that's genuinely why, like, John Bellion's my favorite artist ever, because he just does what he wants. Like, I get to know the artist through the music.
Instead of getting to know
And-
the fans through the
Yeah,
music.
because I don't care about the fans. Like, I
true.
don't
No.
care about
I
the
don't
music.
think you, I don't think you should in that sense.
No. So yeah, I
care
do, like,
what they think. Anyways.
Yeah. Like, there's a difference between, like, there's a difference between why I like and why I don't like. You know, that's why I don't like Beyonce.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's why I really am not liking Drake right now. It's why I don't like Paramore. It's why. Yeah, just stay true to who you are. Like, musically speaking,
Yeah.
you know, just doesn't. I don't know. Because I can feel it when it's not there, when it's not real. I can feel it. Like, because Beyonce's the one that I just don't like the most. I think Lemonade was the most real album that she's ever done.
I could see that.
Like, I enjoyed that album.
Yeah.
But the rest of it, nah. Okay, there's my tangent.
Nice.
And how I look at music. Well,
Well,
yeah, well, thank you, everybody, for
Yeah, thank
tuning
you.
in. Holy crap.
Make sure to go to georgiacoffeeroasters.com
.com.
and get a bag of coffee and use code Diamond Studios to get 10% off your order.
10% off your order. Also, merch on our website, diamondstudioslid.com. And yeah, thanks for listening. Subscribe, like, share. Spotify listeners, there's questionnaires on the bottom. So after you listen to this episode, go answer the questions. You're amazing. We love you. Here's a song by Jonathan Boucher.
Song by This has been the podcast. This has been the podcast.
Hey, you caught me by surprise, buddy.
Got us.